everyone, it's Ellie. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're here for the first time, hi, hello, thank you for checking this video out. This is my very ambitious April TBR video. So, as you may have guessed from the title of this video, I am going to try and read 15 books this April. This is very ambitious for me because last year I think my average book per month was maybe 4 or 5. This year I have been reading loads more thanks to the fact that I am still technically in lockdown here in Scotland, so I basically have all this time to do nothing but read. But the main reason I'm going to try and read 15 books is because it is the Miniathon's 1 year anniversary month. So the Miniathon, I've talked about them in videos beforehand, and I'm also going to be doing weekly vlogs throughout the whole of April, so you can hear in detail what the Miniathon is in that first vlog. However, basically to sum it up, it was a book club that was created by my friend Kira, KC Bookshelves, and it started as a weekly readathon on Saturdays. Within a 12-hour period, you tried to read as much as possible, and there was scheduled reading sprints throughout the day, and it has basically grown from there. There's now way over 100 members, and it's reached its 1 year anniversary. So Kira is hosting a massive celebration. There is so much to look forward to throughout the month. There is movie watch-alongs, there are Zoom parties, and there is loads of points to be had. So I joined Miniathon back in October, which was when they were doing their 6th month anniversary, and basically throughout the month there is a TBR board which has 16 prompts on it, and you get a certain amount of points for reading every prompt. And then if you make bingo lines, you get extra points. If you complete the board, you get extra points. And then there's also a photo prompts board, which again, you get points for each photo prompt that you take a picture of on your Bookstagram. So not only am I going to be trying to read as many of these books as possible, I'm also going to be trying to post every single day on my Bookstagram. All of the details will be linked in the description, including the Miniathon's Instagram, the Miniathon's Discord, and also my Instagram if you want to check out my progress throughout the month on how I'm doing. So I'm going to try and go through these books pretty quickly, otherwise this is going to be a very long video. So first of all, here is the Miniathon TBR prompt board. So I am going to be taking you through these from top through to bottom and what books I've picked. So because there's so many books, I have got a set of physical books that I'm reading. I'm also going to be trying to read a lot from my Kindle as well. I have a lot of easy, short romances on my Kindle, and they're what I'm going to try and focus on to try and ensure that I read 15 books this month. I did work it out, and there is 5,049 pages in total for all of the books I want to read this month, which I worked out to be 169 pages a day. I do think this is doable as long as I manage my time well, so I think having the Kindle books will help keep it short, because a lot of these Kindle books I imagine I'm going to start reading and want to just get finished within a day, so I will probably read more than 169 pages for those, and then that maybe gives me a little bit more time to take time with the physical books if I need to. First up we have New to You author. So for this one, I'm actually going to read the book of the month for Miniathon. So every month there's at least one book, usually 2, to pick from, and during the 1 year celebration month you get extra points for reading the book of the month. So the one that I am going to be doing is Vox by Christina Dolcher. This was picked to be the book of the month, and I'm really happy because I've had it on my shelves for a little bit. A brief summary is it's a maybe dystopian typed book where women are only allowed a certain amount of words a day, and if you go over the amount of words you're allowed a day, there is bolts of electricity which course through your veins, so basically punishing you. Young women are no longer taught to read or write, and basically women are being silenced. I'm quite excited to get to this one. I've seen some reviews, some people really love it, some people find it quite hard because it's a hard world to imagine living in, so I'm excited to get to that one. Next up is a foolish character. So for this one, I am going to do a Kindle book, and I am reading Pucked Over by Helena Hunting. This is the third companion novel in a companion novel series, and I picked this one because the character featured in it, first of all, foolish in love, and second of all, just foolish in general, seems to be a bit of a jokester. The Pucked series follows a ice hockey team in Chicago, and like I said, each book is a different couple that we have met in previous books. So really looking forward to that because I've read the first two, this is the third one, and I've enjoyed them all so far. For the Shakespeare prompt, I'm not actually reading a book, which is why there's only 15 books for me to read this month. During the month, we are doing a watch-along of a stage production of Midsummer's Night's Dream. And so for this prompt, what I'm going to do is read the full play script whilst we watch the movie. So this means I will get one of these prompts completed within a 3-hour period, which is great. And also it'll be a lot easier for me to get through Shakespeare's work, which I do not have a lot of experience reading at all because I will be watching the movie along. The next prompt is red lettering, and for that I chose The Power by Naomi Alderman. So as you can see, red lettering on the cover then. This one was a gift to me in a book box that I got in December from some people on Bookstagram, and I'm glad I finally had the chance to read it. The reason I actually picked this for this month is because I had already said I would buddy read this with Kira, so I'm going to fit that in by using it as the red lettering prompt. This one, again, a kind of female-based book here, and it says, all over the world, women are discovering they have the power. With a flick of their fingers, they can inflict terrible pain, even death. Suddenly, every man on the planet finds they've lost control. The day of the girls has arrived, but where will it end? So that sounds like it will be really interesting as well because, you know, women rising up. For the involves a sibling bond, I have gone with Coming Up Roses by Stacey Hart. This is a romantic comedy, and I believe it is another companion novel series. This book was actually free 1 week on Amazon, so I downloaded it. And a set of brothers own a flower shop, and I believe each book pertains to one of the brothers falling in love. Obviously, the brothers owning the flower shop is why I picked this for sibling bond. For the Own Voices prompt, I decided to read Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I decided to read this one obviously because it features a person of colour main character, and Talia Hibbert, the author, is a person of colour, and also because I've heard amazing things about this series. I just ordered the third book. I have the second one, which is Danny, and I just ordered Eve. So I'm hoping I will read this one, fall in love with it, as I know loads of people have, and then maybe get to the second 2 books in May. So hopefully this will be an easy one for me because I know a lot of people have basically started reading this and just been consumed by it. For the Set in a New World, Kira specified that this could be any book that is set in any world or culture that is different to yours right now. So for this, I went with City of Glass, the third book in the Mortal Instruments series. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that I am reading one of this series every month to read the entire series. It is a reread for me. However, the later we get with the books, the less I know the content that's in the books. However, I do remember that this one is set in Alicante, which is kind of the city of the Shadowhunters. So obviously this is a new world to me because it is very different from the world I am living in right now, and that means I ticked off my buddy read for the month as well. For author beginning with K, I'm going back to my Kindle, and I am reading Fighting the Odds by Kristen Granata. This is an author that I have so far read 2 books of, and I really enjoyed both of them. One of them I absolutely loved, called What's Left of Me. I highly recommend that one. I think this one follows the theme of some of her other books, where there's some really important issues discussed and problems that the main characters face. However, it is quite a short book, and her books always have a guaranteed happily ever after. So I'm looking forward to reading that one, and again, because it's on my Kindle, I'm hoping I can read it quite quickly. For the white cover prompt, I decided to do Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I have had this series sitting on my shelves for a very long time, and I finally decided to read it this month, especially because me and my friend Kate had planned to read this book together anyway this month, so it's great that I've managed to fit it into the bingo board. I know this series has mixed reviews, and I am not a big fantasy reader, so I'm very interested to see how I find this. However, considering there's a romance element to the book, I think I might enjoy it maybe more than a high fantasy book that's just about fantasy and adventure. For the classic prompt, Kira said that we could either do any classic or any retelling of a classic. I double checked if she considered Cinderella to be a classic, which she did. So I'm doing a Cinderella retelling, and that is Cinderella is Dead by Kailyn Bayron. Again, this is a book I'm reading because I was planning to buddy read it anyway this month, and luckily I managed to fit it into the prompts. I'm really excited for this one because I know a lot of people have read it and really loved it. This one is 200 years since Cinderella found her prince, but the fairy tale is over. So it's obviously a Cinderella retelling kind of, but I think gonna have a really interesting twist to it, and just absolutely check out that gorgeous cover. This again is written by a person of colour, and obviously they've made the main character a person of colour as well, so we love that. For the 4 prompt, you were allowed to do anything that was to do with the number 4. It could be the number of letters in the title, the number of words in the title, the 4th book in a series, the 4th book you're going to read that month, you know, anything with the number 4. So I went for Love Struck in Los Angeles by Rachel Skeurig. This is the 2nd book in a romance series. The book is very short, and it features a Latin American girl who moved from America to London to do a year of studying English literature, and she meets this guy at a theatre one night, and they start talking, they start falling in love, and basically it turns out the guy is actually a big movie star, and she didn't know this because she wasn't really interested in that world at all, so obviously he finds that quite refreshing, the fact that she didn't know who he was. And it's basically about their love journey, obviously dealing with things like the press or jealous people, and her family didn't really approve of the love either. The first book, Love Struck in London, they got together, and this one just continues their story. And now I believe they've gone to Los Angeles for a few months whilst the male character films a new movie, and is going to be another wee journey of that sort of 6-month snapshot of their lives. For the based on a true story, you were allowed to do autobiographies. So I am doing Becoming by Michelle Obama. Because it's a non-fiction, I often find reading those easier when I set myself a few pages to read every day rather than binge reading it in, say, 3 days. So I'm going to work out how many pages roughly I need to read each day of that book to finish it by the end of the month, so I'm going to do that. I also have the audiobook of it, so I think that'll make it a lot easier to read along with as well. For a book that has A in the title, I went for an arc that I actually have, and this is going to be the first book that I read because it's due in very soon, and that is A Beauty So Cruel by Bina Khan. This is a modern day fairy tale billionaire mafia crime romance. So I think that's going to be a bit of a dark romance. I believe it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it's a short-ish book. It's hard to say how many pages is in this one because of the format it was downloaded in. It only does location and percentage. So I'm hoping to kind of read this in 1 or 2 days, which I think should be fine. I don't think there's over 300 pages to it. But this is book 1 of a series, so I'm hoping I enjoy it and then I can get the other books maybe. And so again, hopefully a quick, easy read to make it easier to finish that book. For the nominated for an award prompt, I decided to go with The Guest List by Lucy Foley, which was actually nominated and won a Goodreads award last year. The reason I went for this one is because, again, me and my friend XC were planning to read this month, so I'm glad I managed to fit it in. This obviously was a very popular book along with The Hunting Party, which this author also did. I haven't read The Hunting Party, so obviously I think it's going to be a murder mystery, and I'm really looking forward to that because I don't think I've seen a bad review for this book, so it should be good. For the water on the cover prompt, I went for a Kindle again book. This is The Pieces of Ourselves by Maggie Harcourt. Again, this is a romance book, I believe, but it also, again, maybe deals with some heavier topics, and I think it's about sort of rebuilding yourself after you've fallen apart. So maybe a little bit emotional, but I quite enjoy those kind of reads. And obviously being on the Kindle means I can hopefully blitz my way through that one as well. And lastly, the 16th prompt, which is short novel. I am going to read The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Anyone who has seen my TBR videos since February, I have been saying I'm going to read this every single month. But this means I will guarantee read it this month because I have to complete the bingo board. So, we're good. It's, I think, about 178 pages, something like that. 178, 179 pages. So it's less than 200, so it counted for the prompt. And I'm hoping I can basically just read it in one day. And that way I can get it over and done with. I must admit, I'm not that excited to read it, but it's one of those books that everyone says you should read. And I'm hoping I might be pleasantly surprised because I presume there's a reason everyone says this is a book you should read. So we will get to this month, and if I don't, I'm giving up. I'm not going to read it or try to read it again for the rest of the year because clearly it doesn't want to get read if I don't even manage it this month. So 9 physical books, 1 script, and 6 Kindle books. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Hopefully I will manage to read them all. However, like I said, I am planning to do weekly vlogs for every single week for the month and keep you up to date on how things are going, so check those out. As always, if you've liked this video, please like, comment, and if you want to see more content, subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you're reading in April. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. And as always, I hope you have a lovely morning, day, or night, no matter what time zone you're in, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!